ass out of here,
he
Justin.
can, but the outcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I do, the outcome means I won't get any money. The outcome means
True.
that I will be doing a whole different career.
Right.
He'll be back on PBS.
Yeah.
Right. That's where you go. When it's like,
No, that's where he started.
Channel
It's
12.
that's where you
like, hey,
started, but I mean, you would have to go
man,
back.
That's crazy.
Channel 12.
Channel 12.
Channel
Wow,
12.
Yeah, man.
That's wow.
We do our journalism
Y'all
a
do
little
y'all
bit.
research.
Yeah,
Shout
absolutely,
out,
man.
Shout out to y'all, man. That's
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's get a little. I'm gonna turn the pages a little bit
Yeah.
because what we're starting to see now in this day, and Courtney and you were having a side discussion about it, and I'd like to bring it to the forefront, is that we're seeing a lot of diversity and inclusion
For sure.
within the on the news in general, right? And I think, and I want you to talk about your experience because for minorities, black and brown, it's like it hasn't been the best depiction of us when we turn on the news, right? So how does having you and other newscasters with that diversity kind of dispel the old traditions of the newsroom?
It just means, for me, I just know that it's not about, I know it's important for the audience, right? For who's looking at you, whatever they bring to the table, when they see me, they know that they're going to get professionalism. They're going to get somebody who has done their research, and they're going to get somebody who is going to, at the end of the day, honestly entertain you. So, for example, today I did a story on Montbello and Freshlow, this new hub that's going to happen, where the parking ride used to be in Montbello off of Peoria.
Yep. Got it.
Use that 1 acre land.
Oh, you said the park and ride.
Where the park and ride used to be.
Got it. Yeah,
used to be.
Yeah, I
And
missed
so
that.
they're going to build a 7-story affordable housing unit, going to have a grocery store and everything. And we know how important that is. So it's my job to, because I don't have to explain it to this audience here. We get it, right? We get it from Montbello, from Park Hill. But how about somebody from Highlands Ranch? How about somebody who's listening in Alamosa? I had somebody literally in Alamosa take a picture. It was like, oh, man, I see you, on TV. Awesome. So how about that audience down there? So I got to make sure that one of my sayings and mottos is, why do I care? That's one of the biggest things you have to have. If you're going to go and have to a wider audience, you have to make sure that your story is important to everyone that's looking at you. And so when I talk about a story that means a lot to me because it's at my Bellows, my hometown, I want to make sure that somebody at Highlands Ranch understands why it's so important. And somebody from there understands why it's so valuable to have something like this. And so that's something that I always try to do. I always try to make sure that I...
Jay,
Shout out to you.
It's the...
This podcast, bustin'.
It's the art of storytelling.
Yes.
And connecting the dots along the way.
100%.
And then, people connect to people. Yeah, they connect to the story too, but you're the face. And when somebody turns the TV on, they're not thinking, oh, I want to hear a story about Montbello. They're like, I want to listen to Justin.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
You are. And why is this important? Because when you're on the morning show, I'm on the morning show.
Right.
You're not exactly sitting down watching TV, man. You're getting the kids ready. You're getting yourself up. Like, you need to wake me up.
It's part of the routine.
It's part of the routine, right? We turn on the change. And to be very honest, you're really tuning in for weather and traffic because you have to think of what's pertinent to me. Well, I need to find out what's going on right now in the morning. Hey, where I travel this direction, do I go on I-25?
Let me give a respectful push, man. Respectful.
Yeah.
Do people give a fuck about traffic anymore?
Hell yeah, they
When
do.
there's Waze and
Absolutely.
Google Maps,
Yes,
I
absolutely.
don't care about traffic.
Absolutely.
Because when I pull out my driveway and I'm going 30 minutes that way, the conditions are going to be completely different.
Well, it's important because for us, even though we're a new generation, right? So we could go our ways, we could go all these other different apps. You still turn on the TV, like even though that you have your cell phone, that's your alarm clock and everything. I don't know. I haven't seen a program that could say, oh, and by the way, A, B, C, and D here. These are the traffic. These are where traffic is being stopped at overall. You want to get kind of a wide look at what's going on. So,
Well, I think Google does that, but to your point, like I look at the news for traffic because you want to see the action.
Yeah.
Right? Like that is entertainment. It's a form of entertainment.
Old, man. No, we don't. I don't. I'm not putting myself in that bubble.
You gonna pop that bubble?
I don't watch
Come
the
on,
morning
Biscuits
news for
Gravy,
traffic.
you gotta join me, man.
Weather? Yes.
So what you watching? So what you watching?
But that's why they always combine together, though. You never get traffic alone, you never get weather alone, but you get both of them together.
You get both.
Right? So you get this is what the forecast. Because anybody can flip up their phone and be like, oh, okay, boom, boom, boom. This
It's
is
the yin and
what
yang.
But You get to say, oh, where you're at right now, this is what it's going to be. This is what it's going to be later on. And okay, here's the traffic. Oh, okay, so it's going this way. I need about 30 minutes. Maybe I need like 15 minutes extra in order to get to where I need to go. Cool, we're moving on from there.
And it's definitely a conversation piece when my wife takes me out to dinner and I don't know the people. It's like, we talk about the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the commute to your job? Like, hey, where you work at?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody 40.
Like
Everybody 40 and plus. We talk about directions, the weather, and traffic. That's what we talk about.
But isn't it amazing how your conversations change as you get older?
Fair enough.
No,
because
absolutely.
when you like early 20s, you're not caring about the weather. You're not caring about traffic, bro.
Not at all.
Where to work at, man?
You know, you just like
Where to work?
Where to work at?
What we talking
You know
about?
what I'm saying? I'm like, if I get to work on time, that's cool.
No. The other work.
Other work.
I know
Yeah,
that
see,
too.
Justin, we bringing you outside the newsroom. This is this is real life we talking about.
I knew where y'all at, but I was like,
He tried to bring it back. Like,
trying to reel it back in.
well, let's talk about your sports background. Go ahead.
I did want to go, before we go to sports background, I did want to highlight quickly on the importance of black journalists.
Yes. We got off topic.
So, you know, what's important is because I've been in a newsroom where I was the only in the newsroom. Okay.
Got him.
When I worked at 7 News, Denver 7, which has some amazing individuals. Well, not some, all of them are amazing. Love Denver 7 community. Once Bertha Lynn left on air.
Bertha's a legend, man.
Absolutely.
Bertha, shout out to Bertha.
And I learned a lot from her. So one of the things that Bertha did was she used to sit right by me. And so there's small things that you learn by just sitting by somebody at work, and you see how they work, you see how they go, and you see how they handle different things. How do they handle their show?
Did she have a great work ethic?
Oh my gosh, she was amazing.
Got it.
How is that different than the football locker room, though?
Well, shoot, in the football locker room, man, we not.
No, but you watch.
We're more flagrant a little bit in there.
No, but the principles are the same. Like if you want to be great, you connect with great people in the locker room. You watch how they move. Yeah. You watch what they do. You watch that was my experience.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm sorry.
And it really helped me out though, because when I saw the way that she anchored. That helps me out when I anchor now. Now I look and I'm like, oh, I remember she would do this. So let's say the prompter is not where it's supposed to be. How did she handle? Oh, she handled it this way. So I'm going to handle it there because she did it so smoothly. Let me go do that as well.
So was it and I hate to cut you off, was it an indirect relationship of like mentoring or by example, or did she actually take you under her wing?
From time to time she did.
Okay.
She did. And I really appreciated it. I really did. I mean, she is... when you talk about legends, black broadcasters in Denver, she is definitely one of the top.
Oh, absolutely.
She was in the 80s, 90s.
Yeah,
like
she started at Channel 9, or KUSA at the time. Well, it's still KUSA, but she was at, I don't know the channel exactly at the time, but she started there and then went to 7, and she was it. But it does teach you a whole lot. And now, going from a place where I do remember being at a place where I was the only in a newsroom, I know how that feels. Like I know how it feels where there's certain jokes or certain things that happen or certain stories break. One story, for example, there was a shooting at a Nas concert, and so I remember how awkward it was at times to try to be like the guy who deciphered different language when Twitter was really young. So if somebody said ST and the number 8, then we know that's straight.
Yeah.
But at the time, your coworkers may not know what that means, so it's like you are the guy to go and decipher that. So I know how that feels, where you kind of be like, man, is that like my worth and my value here? Knowing that it's not, but it's easy to feel that way sometimes. But to be
but they try to make you feel like that is your worth and value to try to decipher black culture.
Sometimes, but then you could also use it as an opportunity to be able to teach. And that's my thing, is always use it as an opportunity to be able to do so. Always use it as a chance to be like, hey, this is what's going on. Oh, and by the way, this is why it's important.
Absolutely.
So like, for example, one of the things I remember bringing to Channel 7 at the time was Juneteenth. It's on a Saturday. Juneteenth is going on, and nobody knew about it. It's not in the show. And I'm like, wait a minute. This needs to be in a show. It's a huge, huge deal, right? This is before Juneteenth national holiday and everything.
Especially in Denver.
So one of the things that I've learned is that sometimes the best thing you could do is just take a camera, shoot it, and go and bring it back. Just go and do it yourself and bring it back, and then you could go and tell the story. Use it as an opportunity to learn. Use it as an opportunity to teach. And say, hey, this is what's going on, and this is why it's important. And then it comes back to that point I said earlier, why do I care? This is why it's important to the whole community at large. And that's how you break the story. And so you use it as a teaching moment. But to see so many different black broadcasters that we have right now is a beautiful thing to see.
Who's your black broadcaster? Well, black media personality right now.
Oh, wow.
Who do you connect with the most?
Who, as in person or just like watch from afar?
No, it could be from afar. In person, it could be a combination of both.
There's so many different guys that I do. The work ethic of Chris Dempsey, I absolutely love what he does. It's amazing. From a national level, actually, I'll give you one name: Nate Burleson.
Nate
Burleson.
I really like
Shout
Nate.
out
Wide
to Nate
receiver,
Burleson.
Detroit. He's
I
on
really like Nate
CBS
He's on
NFL.
CBS, but here's the thing: he's not just on CBS NFL. My man's on CBS Morning News.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the next step. So we talk about like the Michael Strahans and guys like that, Nate Burleson's. Like that's the next step. Just say that we're not just people who could be on and talk about the game. We could be the individuals bringing you the news too.
Yeah, that's super dope. I didn't know he was doing the morning news.
I didn't know that either.
And so that's why that's the next evolution. That's why it's so important to see guys like that. Bryant Gumbel, excuse me. He has Real Sports on HBO. It's
Legend.
tough to find a better storyteller than him.
Legend.
He's phenomenal.
He does a great
His whole
great
team
job.
is phenomenal.
Legend.
They are all ridiculous.
Phenomenal.
I look at there and I'm like, how did you pull that out?
Yes.
Like, how did you hide?
Real Sports is a legendary show.
Legendary show.
So
It's
let me,
like,
since we're talking about Bryant Gumbel, because he is a legend, right? But he gets, let's be honest, he's getting flack from our community sometimes for whatever, a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
But bringing it to you, have you ever had those or feel those kind of pressures? Because for Bryant Gumbel, great journalist, great voice. I mean, he has the total package. He's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
But for some reason in our community, we give him flack for
Speaking properly?
That's
Using
sad.
the English language?
whatever his, whatever he has going on outside of his life.
Yeah.
Like growing up or when you wanted to get in broadcasting, did you ever feel that kind of dissonant pressure to be like, my own community could possibly kill me because I'm speaking proper and communicating and not
kill not in like shoot and kill.
Yeah, no,
like,
we talk about
talk
just
bad.
sorry. Yeah, that's
Cancel
slang
culture.
for
Cancel culture. Cancel.
We got you.
Cancel.
I'll
Ostracized.
being canceled.
I'll tell you the exact story. When Montbello won, or Far Northeast, whatever, it's still Montbello. I don't understand Far Northeast. When they won the championship and they had a parade, that was the most pressure that I ever put on myself on a story because I grew up there. I went to the school, and I know exactly who was going to watch it.
Oh yeah.
I know exactly where it was going to be posted. And I was like, I cannot mess up on this story. I'd never go into it saying I'm going to anyway, right? But I had this immense pressure that I put on myself. Like, it has to be perfect and everything has to be right. And then at the end of the day, you have to realize that you are here for a reason. Point blank.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, you are here for a reason, right? You are here to be a great storyteller. So tell the story of what happened. Don't try to make something up. Don't try to, do something out of the ordinary that may try to win you an award this time. Be who you are. Be what got you to this opportunity, to this position. And so once I let all that go, it turned out to be a fantastic story, man. And I was able to wrap around several different things because when I do storytelling, I always in my mind do beginning, middle, end. So it's kind of weird. I got this actually from Jackie Chan in a movie. It's the weirdest thing that I got it from. But he was like, in his fight scenes, he always wants a beginning, middle, and an end. And if you ever look at his fight scenes, he always like has that. Like, here's the beginning, here's the middle, here's the end. And I always look at myself and I'm like, what's the beginning, middle, end of the story?
Got it.
And I always try to think of that. And so when I talked about Montbello, beginning was obviously the champion, obviously the celebration, right? We're here to cover the celebration, okay? Why are they celebrating? Where it's because of the game. Let me go bring you the game. A couple of highlights from the game. But then I have interview with the player that was the player of the game, right? And then from there, the bridge that I have on the middle part to this was like, yeah, this is important. But what's going to come back is Montbello High School is coming back at fall of 22, right? And it brings back the heart of the community. That was part of my stand-up. And so I was able to go from there to talk to Coach Lindsay, get a soundbite from him, and then wrap it up with somebody from DPS. And that's the beginning, middle, end of the story. So it's like, here's the celebration. Here's the football piece. Oh, by the way, the school is coming back, so let me throw that news in there.
Absolutely.
And this is why it's important for this to come back.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. Yeah.
Just trying to wrap it in there.
Absolutely, man.
Man, listen, man. There's no better representation of the Montbello community than you, man.
Funny.